All right, the presentation becomes very visual and the awaiting for the auditory impact. I would say again, the auditory impact means to say the bomb that is to be blasted. So just waiting for that. From stanza to stanza, the poet keeps the reader reminded of time. Out of 4 minutes, the countdown begins. So the poet, has used the countdown technique here. The countdown technique works in the poem. What is it? The countdown technique works in this poem. Yes. Now, one thing I would also like to remind you that now we have to follow up and see who are the observers here, who is observing all this. The poet uses 2 observations here. Can any one of you guess that? The poet uses 2 observations here. What are those 2 observations? Yes, what are those 2 observations in this poem? That of the narrators and of the terrorist. That of the narrators and of the terrorist. All right, the narrator. The poet uses narrator and the terrorist. The latter waits to see the results of his actions from a safe distance. Yes. So who is awaiting to see the results at a safer distance? Who could it be? Can it be the narrator or the terrorist? Yes. Tell me, who is awaiting to see the results there?
Terrorist.
Terrorist, that's what. So the terrorist is at a safer distance, waiting to see what's going to happen. Yeah, the disaster, waiting for the disaster. And the narrator observes the terrorist as well as the events in the bar. So the narrator observes everything. Narrator observes everything. Narrator himself observes the terrorist and the other events related, like the people who come in and who go out and all this and that. Narrator also is very keen observer here. And he seems to be telescoping the actions, consolidating, make a stronger point of view, just checking everything, telescoping the actions, consolidating the actions. The attitudes of the 2 observations are contrasted. 2 observations, the terrorist observations and the narrator's observations are contrasted. Why do we say those observations are contrasted? Yes. Now, what is the motive of the terrorist here actually? What is the motive of the terrorist here? Destruction, definitely. Beyond doubt, that is destruction. The terrorist motive or the opinion or the idea is to destroy. He wants to create a destruction and the loss of life, to kill people. So that kind of barbaric ideas are with the terrorist. You understand, children? So the terrorist apparently wants to see the action bearing fruit. He wants to see his actions bearing fruit. Bearing all right. His actions should be okay. So he purposely planted this bomb, deliberately planted this bomb to see the destruction and to kill the people. That's it. Very barbaric. You understand? Right. So that is the point of view of the terrorist. And then what do you think about the narrator? So that is, I told you, the destruction is expected by the terrorist, and the narrator seems to be what? Now, can the narrator do anything? The poet uses these 2 observations. Are you clear, children? Yes. The narrator, what's the narrator duty is seems to watch the human tragedy, but being so helpless. The narrator seems very helpless here, but only thing he has got to do is just to observe what's happening and to think about, and to just to sympathize. See how nicely, how beautifully the poet brings these 2 attitudes. The terrorist attitude or his motive is to, destroy everything. It can be the material destructions as well as the human destructions. material and human both. You understand? Whereas you find the other observer, the narrator, and he seems to be watching all this human tragedy which is going to take place, being so helpless. Being so helpless. Are you clear? Yes. Any questions, Himara? Any questions, Pute? Yes. Now, let me ask you a question. Does the terrorist have even a twinge of conscience about the people who are going to get killed? Twinge of conscience. TWINGE, twinge of conscience. Conscience means person's moral sense about the right and wrong. So has he got any kind of like a sudden feeling of right and wrong? Has he got any such feelings about who are going to get killed now? Because the time goes on, countdown is going on. Has he got any such feelings? Yeah, no such feelings with the terrorists. But what do you think about the narrator? Has the narrator got any sympathy or pity on the people who get in, who comes out, especially with referred to the bar and all? Yes. Yes. All right. Now, if I simply summarize before getting into the stanzas, if I simply summarize now, what is your point of view? What is your point of view about this particular poem? Now, who narrates and then who observes all these actions? Now, can somebody give me a simple idea? Can somebody give me a simple idea? Yes. Before the analysis of the stanzas? Before the analysis of the stanzas? Nilmi Chaturya. Yes. The bomb in the bar will explode at 13:20. Now it's just 13:16. There's still time for some to go in and some to come out. Yes. Now you see the narrator divulges, the narrator discloses that the bomb has been planted in the bar. And okay, why has the terrorist targeted bar? Ashini Amaya. Why has he targeted the bar? Yes. Yes. Tell me, Pratik. Yes. Any idea? That is the place where people get crowded, right? All right. And the time countdown goes on. And in the bar, it will explode at 13:20. So the narrator seems to be monitoring the context. Narrator is the one who monitors the situation. You understand? And he reports, not you report. Why report? He reports to the reader everything. And he could witness like what is happening at the moment, who comes in, who goes out. And it seems like he's very watchful, vigilant. He's very watchful and he's very vigilant about what's happening. And he's really conscious, aware of all what's happening over there. And exactly about the time as well. And what time it's supposed to explode. So the narrator knows everything. But he helplessly observes everything. All right. And he also updates us with the time. The time now, yes. Yeah, it is like, yeah, now it's just 13:16, which means like still the time is there for the customers to enter into the bar or to leave the bar. Those who are coming in would be the victims. Those who are going out will survive or would be the survivors. So coming in, They will have their fate there, and those who are going out would be able to save their lives. So now this is the destiny. Nobody knows, like those who are coming in, coming out, going out, have no idea like what's going to happen in a minute, in a moment. They don't know like what's going to happen with their fate, destiny. And their destiny is determined by this time bomb. Only the terrorist and the narrator knows what's going to happen. Yasudhya, are you okay?
Yes.
All right. Imara, Danidu, Minsadi, Nilmi, sorry.
Yes, sir.
All right, Putin. Okay, fine. So, and then let's move on to the stanza 2 then. The terrorist has already crossed the street. That distance keeps him out of danger. It's very obvious here now when you go through these lines. And what a view, just like the movies. Now, it has a kind of a cinematic feeling. The poet creates kind of a cinematic feeling. It's like a film. It's like a film. You understand? It's like a film. All right? And it's like a film to the narrator, of course, to the narrator's point of view. So the poem is actually, this is, you see, we call this third person narrative. And we also can call it as omniscient point of view. Omniscient in the sense that is all knowing. So the narrator knows all what's happening there. Omniscient form of narrative. So the narrator knows all what's going to happen. Are you clear with it? So narrator is aware of all the scene, and he observes all the actions and the movements of the people and the terrorist as well. He knows like what the terrorist does. That distance keeps him out of danger. So the narrator knows where the bomb is planted, and he knows the safer distance for the terrorist, and he can see like how the terrorists cross the road now, waiting to see the destruction. And he goes out of the danger area. He goes out of the danger area. Are you clear up to there? Yes. All right. Okay. Let's move on to stanza 3 then. Stanza 3. Yeah. A woman in a yellow jacket sees going in. A man in dark glasses is coming out. Now you feel like as readers, we are also made to feel something about the one who goes in, the one who comes out. We feel really sad and we feel sorry about those who go in. Or what's going to happen? So in few minutes time, we would be able to see their bodies or the casualties, right? And they'll all lie in a pool of blood. It's going to be a bloodshed. It's going to be a massacre. You understand? So this is the kind of destiny they are going to have now. So we feel happy about the people who come out, whereas we feel really sad about the people who go in. So according to his careful and attentive watch, the terrorist has gone to the other side crossing, according to the narrator's careful watch. So you can carefully see like where the terrorist is now, right? And so it seems like he's in a safer distance, detached from the oncoming tragedy. He's well away. He's in a safer zone, and he has no kind of emotions. You know, bloodthirsty people. Bloodthirsty people. And the narrator's point of view is like a movie. It's like a movie. That's what I told you, like it has a cinematic quality. Right? Because in horror movies, you all can see these things. In horror movies, you all can see these things. Right? The scene describing various customers entering and exiting the bar in the minutes leading up to the bomb's detonation. The bomb. It goes to the place where the bomb detonates. It takes note of what victims are wearing when they enter, leave the bar. The narrator thereby, you see, even they, what they wear, like a woman in a yellow jacket, she's going in, and the dark glasses man. So all their appearances are also monitored and observed. Notices a woman wearing a yellow jacket goes inside the bar. Feel sorry about those, right? And then the woman will die in the explosion because the narrator does not mention whether the woman leaves the bar. There's no such reporting about the woman who goes out, whether she goes out or in, she must be still in, right? And then those who come out, yeah, the narrator knows definitely they are going to escape the death. All right, definitely they know that the people who come out will escape the death. So it's a very clear observation by the narrator about the teenagers who are coming in, and narrator also mentioned about the time, 13, 17, and 4 seconds, and showed one may be one of the teenagers and he's out of the danger. He mounts on a scooter to leave, right? Mounts on a scooter to leave. So that is avoiding the explosion. Avoiding the explosion. All right. And when you get to stanza 4, 13, 17, and 40 seconds, that girl is walking along with green ribbon in her hair. But then a bus suddenly pulls in front of her. 13, 18. The girl's gone. Was she that dumb? Did she go in or not? So the narrator can't see that girl who goes, whether she goes in or out. So whether she goes in, because that is covered by the bus. Then the narrator goes on thinking whether she is dumb, right? Was she that dumb? Did she go in or not? We can see when they carry them out. What do you mean by when they carry them out means? That's after the explosion. So he knows, the narrator knows in 3 minutes time it's going to be exploded. So with the explosion, all of them within that range would be dead. And their dead bodies, or like probably like if, in case by mistake, if they survive with their luck, so they will be like fatal casualties. And then the narrator would be able to see them coming out with the stretchers and all. Okay, this is what it says, and the countdown goes on. The time 13, 17, and 40 seconds at this moment. And the narrator informs us that another girl is walking with a ribbon, with a green ribbon in her hair. And bus moves suddenly, blocking the view of the girl. That's what the narrator is bothered about. And he has a doubt whether the girl went in or not, because he's out of sight. He's out of the narrator's sight. And the narrator is in dilemma, is in doubt, right? Is in doubt. Okay, 13, 18, the girl's gone. Was she that dumb? Did she go in or out? We can see when they carry them out. Are you clear up to there? Yes. Did you get up to there? Imara, Misadi, Yasudya? Yeah, children.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then you find stanza 5, 13, 19, somehow no one's going in. 13, 19, no one's going in. Yeah, someone, no one's going in. Another guy, fat, bold, is leaving though. Wait a second. Look like he's looking for something in his pockets. And at 13:20 minus 10 seconds, he goes back in for his crummy gloves. He goes back in for his crummy. Crummy means like dirty, unpleasant. Yeah, crummy, for his crummy gloves. So what is happening then? He goes back in for his crummy gloves. So at this moment, the time 13:19, no one seems to be going inside the bar. Instead, another man who is fat, bold, goes out of the bar. But he waits a second to look for something else. Imagine how the narrator gives us how the narrator updates us with all what's happening over there. Yeah. We are even scared. Yeah. And we feel really sorry about the people who are waiting within the close range of the bomb. Yeah. We can imagine like how they just, get to the blast and they will go into pieces. So the narrator's digital watch indicates the time now, 13:20 minus second. Yep. So 10 more seconds out of 4 minutes. So the exact duration goes on. Explosion of the time. Explosion of the bomb. Yeah. And then definitely that particular person would be a victim because he cannot return within 4 seconds. That is what the narrator feels. Cannot return within 4 seconds. He's also going to face his destiny, his bad luck. We call it what? Bad luck. And it's kind of a striking situation, very dramatic situation at this moment. The terrorist is watching for his result, waiting to see the consequence after the explosion. That is what the purpose of a terrorist. They are waiting to see they are waiting to see the dead bodies. They are waiting to see the dead bodies and the destruction. They want to see the disaster. The narrator is observing all the events taking place in and out of the bar, yeah, and counting the time as well. And the time is flying now, and the tension, goes up, raises up, heightens. Tension goes up because when it comes closer and closer, we feel, oh, that's the time that's going to give this huge blast, the explosion. That's the end of most of the people who are around, in and around. Stanza 6 goes like this: 13:20 exactly time, indicating the time. This waiting is taking forever. Any second now, no, not yet, yes, now the bomb, it explodes. The bomb goes off. It's 20 past 1. Just imagine the crucial time. The digital watch indicates the crucial time, the waiting to take the lives, the victims, forever and ever. Yeah. So the terrorist who planted the bomb, yes, what do you think about his? He must be so happy to see. Yes, what else? And what do you think about the narrator here now? What is your point of view about the narrator? What must the narrator be feeling about? You understand? Yeah, he must be feeling really sad about this, the fate of the people who just destined to, die, or like lose their arms, or like whatever, or to be critically injured. So like it's very emotional moment. It's an emotional moment. You understand? The repetition of the words no, not, yes, yes, now suggests the mental stress. That suggests the mental stress until the last moment. Yeah. The poet, takes time to say that. Use some repeated words. And the bomb blasts exactly at 13:20. So that's how the disaster takes place. That's how the disaster takes place. All right. You get a simple idea, children? Yes. Now, what do you think about these, the themes of this poem, actually? What might be the themes of this? Yes. Yes. Can anybody say me the themes? Yes. What can we gain by violences, children? Can we gain anything by violences? There's one Buddha saying like hatred cease not by hatred but by peace. What is it? That was a remarkable saying by the philosopher Lord Buddha. And once the late president, one of the late president, J.R. Jayawardena, he did this speech, right, in one of the countries, and then He was very popular with this one. He said like Nahi Verena Verani Sammanti Tachanan Averaneta Sammanti Sadammo Sanatta. Hatred cease not by hatred but by peace. That's it. So that's all what reminds us. You can never gain anything by killing people, by perpetrating any crimes, violences. So those are not the resolutions. Those are not the solutions for the problems. So negotiations are the best. You have to negotiate and sort out your problems. All right, so the terrorist deeds of these massive deaths and the violences can only harm people, and nothing is left other than the anxiety, unrest, or the depression among the people. So we are left with only the depression. I do still remember like what kind of depressions we went through those days, even by traveling buses, like, everywhere bombs. Lots of messages going through, even through television, through social media, saying that so in just a parcel, it can be a bomb. Be aware of bombs. You understand? So it created lots of havoc, lots of panic among the people, right? That's how the war was. So it creates nothing. Sometimes it might be, as I told you, that so the people sometimes, deliberately create this kind of issues, maybe for political gains or maybe for personal gains, mostly political gains, purposely planned for political goals to accomplish their own political, aims. All right. So this is what happens with the terrorism, right? And then, like now, you all may have felt like compassion and sympathy among the people, like among the dead, right? So we sympathize about the victims who got victimized to these disasters, right? So we can never get anything in return by these brutal violences or by brutal killings, right? All right, children. Okay, fine. Let me also talk to you about some of the techniques used in this one, the poetic techniques, form and structure. And it's a pre-verse. It's a pre-verse form used in this poem. And we get stanzas without any uniformity. We get stanzas without any uniformity of the lines and the length of the lines as well. There's no rhyme scheme, as we know that. Narrative form, of course, third person, omniscient point of view. I said omniscient means to say that all knowing, all knowing. It is not all knowing, it's all knowing. So the narrator knows all what's happening. Therefore, we call it third person, omniscient point of narrative, point of view. Are you clear? Yes. So that is third person. All right. So narrative point of view is third person, omniscient. And as you all know, that countdown technique is used here. And the poet uses the countdown technique to make the situation more suspenseful, like more suspenseful. We are kept in dilemma, we are kept in doubt. That creates suspense, that creates suspense. All right, children? Okay, okay, fine. And we are left with 9 minutes. We'll try our best to complete. So the poet is able to carve up several scenes within the 4 minutes. All right. And time 13, 16, you get scenes like the bomb has been already planted. There is who has crossed the street, a woman in a yellow jacket going in, a man in dark glasses coming in, teenagers in jeans are talking. The narrator starts countdown. The narrator starts countdown. Time and the scenes. Time and the scenes. Are you clear? What do you think about the language? And the other fact is, children, like, we can visualize. So it creates imagery through the countdown technique also. The scenes are related to visual images. The bomb explosion, it gives us an auditory imagery. It goes with the auditory imagery. And the language here is you see The poet has used the tense meaningfully. Present simple tense. Present simple tense is used here to report like what's happening. Usually the narrator's feelings and the narrator's thinking is displayed here by using present simple tense. And sudden events, just like it shows like a commentator's language. That's how usually the commentators use present simple tense. In cricket events and all, you may have heard about like how they use present simple. Basically, present simple. Present simple is used by commentators. So here we see a commentatory, like a commentary. So the language is like a commentary, just like a live commentary, and also very effective. The language is used very effectively, economically. Economically, you can find lots of places where this present simple tense and the present continuous tense is used. All right, you can find them. And the symbols. Bar symbolize the human interacts. That is the place where people interact, people move, and it's a place where people get together to have fun, as you all know that. And that is for eating and drinking and lots of fun. So the ordinary people go there for a drink and a chat. That is the time they relax. That's the time. That is the place where they can relax. Having a drink and all that. Though it's not into you and me, but for people, especially in city areas, that's the place where that we call it clubbing culture. Clubbing culture, clubs, yeah. And especially in European countries, like no matter who the people are, he can be a cleaner, he can be a soldier, he can be a doctor, he can be an engineer, whoever they are. In the evening when they get to the club, they are all equal. When they get to the club, they are all equal. They can have a drink, they can share a drink, they can just have a dance all together. Nobody would ask like, who are you and all this and that, your titles, and nothing is inquired. You understand? We call that Western people have that clubbing culture. When the night falls, what they usually do is like they go to a club and have fun. That's why their lifestyle is so nice and they are very happy. They are very happy people. All right. Whereas we suffer always with all these stuffs and all, right? Okay. And also like you have a simile there. And what a view, just like the movie. Like, also it's a simile. And as I told you, children, the dramatic and cinematic quality of the poem is shown there. There are many places where you all can see the dramatic and the cinematic quality, right? We can visualize some other characters like men, women, teenagers, young girls, and so on. And the narrator's point of view, like how he talks about the terrorists, and yeah, so lots of things are there to create the narrative quality. Yeah, contrasting characters we find, mainly two characters in the poem, terrorist and the narrator, almost like contrasting. They are all contrasting, right? And another salient feature in the poem is the dramatic irony, the contextual irony. Dramatic irony occurs when the audience or the reader knows something that the characters do not know, right? Here the terrorist and the narrator and the reader know the bomb explodes in 4 minutes, but the crowd behaves casually by getting engaged in their daily work. So we know the dramatic irony there. All right, okay. Now, okay, that's all about this particular poem, and I'm very happy that I was able to, do it faster for you. Right now, I would like to, inquire like whether you were able to understand the poem. Yes. How was the poem for you? Himara, tell me your point of view about this poem. The terrorist is watching. Were you able to understand that clearly? Yeah, we got only 4 minutes, children. I just would like you to, rush into that and do that faster so that we can finish it at this up time. Yeah. Until she prepares, like yeah, Sudhya, yeah, tell me what's your idea about the poem, Buddha? Take a half a minute and then say something. Sudhya. Minsadi.
The terrorist is watching by Wislava Szymborska.
Yeah.
The major theme associated with this poem is conflict. This is title suggests the involvement of the terrorist. there we can identify two observers as narrator and the terrorist.
Yeah.
The terrorist had planted a bomb at a bar which is already populated place.
Yeah.
So terrorist is waiting for the explosion and to see the victims.
Yeah.
Narrators seem to be very helpless at that situation.
That's right. Okay.
As terrorist.
Yes. Very nice. Yeah. Ashini.
The terrorist is watching by Wisława Szymborska.
Yeah.
In the poem, the
Yes.
terrorist is watching. The poetess Wisława
Yeah.
visualizes the moment
Yes.
how a bomb is planted in a bar and how the terrorist is watching until it blasts.
Yes.
In the meanwhile, the ordinary people, without sensing the possible imminent danger, moves around.
Yeah.
The poetess brings a common theme which people experience constantly in places where civil wars or civil conflicts prevail. Terrorism has become a serious menace in many parts of the world today.
Yeah. All right. Nice. My friend Danidu.
The terrorist he is watching by Wisława Szymborska is categorized under a conflict theme. This poem had third person narration. Third person narration.
It was an omniscient narration. Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead. Okay.
The narrator is monitoring everything in this situation.
Yeah.
The terrorist has planted a bomb in here, and only 4 minutes left to the blast the bomb. The narrator is monitoring everything, but he is helpless.
Yes. All right. Okay. Very good. And Nilmi.
The terrorist he is watching was written by Wisława Szymborska. It is under the theme of conflict. Context create tension. The title suggests involvement of terrorists. The terrorist has selected the bar because the bar is already populated. The terrorist is waiting for explosion and he likes to see the narrator is helpless in that situation.
Yeah.
Third person omniscient narration can
Yeah.
be seen.
Yes. All right. Okay. Okay. Fine. Thank you very much for those who involved in this one, saying your comments, and then I would also ask you to tell me, like, if the time goes out, then you'll just text me like what you want.